the idea about these cells, and the energy and the messaging, I know you know this, but we are trillions of cells. Like, we are trillions
Mhm.
of bugs. We are more bug than we are human. And I think this critical piece when you're talking about the energy is that, do you have healthy, happy bugs, or do you have unhealthy, unhappy bugs? And that whole, Lily says, cells hold memory, and I think that's where these traumas come through, that we hold on to traumas. And now we're really good as humans at compartmentalizing these things for survival, and we have this ability to adapt. But I think a lot of people don't recognize how deeply they're storing these traumas, and how it is deeply affecting their biology and their neurology, and
Mhm.
their microbiome, and their overall health. And you said, if you go out and you're unhappy and you walk into your garden, and the plants will feel that. I, I'm curious who the person is that could walk out into nature and look at the beauty of flowers, or the garden, the things that are growing, you grew this thing. I'm in awe this is why I'm like, I can't even imagine walking out into the garden and being unhappy. And if I walk out into the garden because I've had a bad day and I'm not feeling good, I go out there because I know that that is going to nourish my soul. I'm going to
Yeah.
go out there. I'm going to immediately take a deep breath. I look at my plants and I thank them every day for giving me the food that they've given me. I mean, it's so beautiful out there. So that also is it's the practice of gratitude too, which
Yeah.
is, gratitude is one of the highest vibrations that we can practice. And if we can get to that place where we're constantly, I thank God and I say my prayers before I go to bed every single night. I've done that my whole life. I get up in the morning and
Mhm.
I thank God, and there's gratitude for the day that I've had, as well as the life that I'm going to have, the day I'm going to have when I get up in the morning. So it's critical to make sure that, I think, gratitude becomes that first layer, because then you view everything around you and
Differently.
respect it in a very different way, right?
Well, I've almost died twice. I've been on the razor's edge. Well, actually, more than twice, but twice medically. And when you start to appreciate that you've survived that, I get up every morning and I make a conscious choice. I don't just get up and go on with my day. I get up and I make a conscious choice to be joyful that day. Because there's lots of people that get out of bed and they got up on the wrong side of the bed. You have that choice. And if you consciously take that tenth of a second or a second and in your own brain go, I'm going to have a fantastic day. I woke up this morning. Damn, it's a good day.
I'm on this side of the earth.
Exactly. Right. Then you make that conscious, energetic choice to have a good day, and you're going to have a good day. There's going to be moments where you run into somebody that you just want to reach out and smack in the side of the head, especially if you're in traffic. But you have a choice, guys. And it doesn't matter what happens during the day, you have a choice. You can have that person cut you off and you can, flip them the bird and, get all mad, or you can back off and go, man, I'm so happy that person cut me off, because then I know they're having a bad day and I can stay away from them. I can
uh,
back off. I can let them go and they're not going to hurt me. Right?
well, think
That,
about it. People take those bad moments and they make a bad moment into a bad day. And it doesn't
exactly.
have to be like that. And when
Yep.
what you see and what you seek, you find. So if
Mhm.
you're like, I'm having a bad day, guess what? You're going to keep having a bad day. You're
Yep.
going to keep, because you're looking for a bad day, unless,
It-
it's just a bad moment.
yeah.
I heard, just as far as your traffic comment, Wayne Dyer I had the pleasure and honor of hearing him speak multiple times before he died. And one thing he said, that he said a lot of things that struck me, but he said, next time you're out you're driving and you get mad because somebody's driving slowly in front of you, stop and think, why are they slowing you down? The universe wants you to slow down. And I tell you, once I started to look at things like that, I can't tell you how many times I've been behind a slow driver and then there's an accident ahead, or, it's like that has happened. Like, it kept me from being in a place where something catastrophic could have happened. So, and then the other day same thing. I was like, it was the middle of the afternoon. There was no reason for a traffic jam, not even on the freeway, just on our surface roads. And I'm like, this is so dumb. It was the light. I was like, there's no reason for this traffic jam to be here. Like, this is so dumb. And then I'm like, just be patient. And, I couldn't go around or anything. And I got up to the intersection and sure enough, there was an accident. And I was like, okay. And I always stop to then say, I always like bless that person. And I say,
Yeah.
my day could be worse. And I'm grateful for